Did you know there's a murder going on in your call center? Right now, your CPA is being murdered by your call center. The conversion rate is not optimized. Therefore, your leads are being murdered. I'm Justin Elenburg, co-founder of MobileFused, and I'm here to share with you one of our processes where we can solve this murder together and get you more money. We've analyzed millions of calls and millions of dollars worth of calls by using digital dispositions and human dispositions to analyze which calls are providing your call center a quality lead. We use these pivot tables, this process called our QFL, quality feedback loop, to show you exactly what's going on in your call centers, what's going on with your agents, and what's going on with your leads. Today, I have Jennifer and David here to show you our process in helping you solve this murder.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Russ. I'm the Director of Publishing at MobileFused, and we're here to help you solve the murder.
And my name's David Farrell, and I'm the Director of Account Management. So what we're going to do today is we're going to walk you through a little bit of one of our core cornerstones of our business process, which is the QFL.
So the Quality Feedback Loop, or QFL, is a cornerstone of our business, and basically what it is, it's a process that we use to evaluate important parts of any campaign, and we've identified certain components that we know need to remain optimized in order to get a good performance out of the campaigns. So the first thing that we want to look at when we're talking about a campaign is we want to understand what kind of a lead the call center needs. We want to understand the perfect person that you want to talk to. We also want to know the people that you don't want to talk to. So once we understand who you want to talk to, we then move on to the pricing for the campaign. MobileFused looks at the relationships that we have as a three-legged stool. We have the advertisers, we've got MobileFused, and then we also have the publishers. And we know that everybody needs to have a win. So each of us are like a leg on that stool, and if one of the legs is short, then the stool is going to tip over and the campaign won't work. So when we're looking at pricing, we really need to be careful that we're setting a price that works out for the advertiser's CPA, but then it also gives the publisher enough bidding power to get the quality traffic that you need. So after we set the pricing, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to find quality traffic sources for you. And MobileFused is not like a network where we post your campaign up on a board where anybody can look at it and anybody can start running it. Bob, who just watched a video about pay-per-quality sites, he's going to be the next best thing. And he can, picks up that campaign and then starts sending you calls. That's not how we work. We hand select the publishers that are going to work for you. So we only work with people that we know, and we only work with people who are experts at pay-per-call. We do like to start off slowly. We like to start with somebody who we know is going to work perfectly, and then depending on what your needs are, we may add additional sources, but we always are reviewing each and everything. We'll get more into that with the QFL, but we always want to make sure that we're using the best sources. We'll find that some campaigns work well with one particular traffic source, and they might not work for someone else. So we really try to make sure that we're selecting something that is going to be perfect for you. The next part of the QFL is looking at the smart call router. So when a call comes in, it goes through our proprietary call tracking platform called MTrack. And when it comes in, we like to filter it. We make sure that it's coming in during the hours that you're open from a state that you want the call. And then we also take a look at filtering. So we'll run it through an IVR, and we'll filter out people looking for customer service or they need to make a payment and things like that. And we only send through callers that really are looking for your services. So that's how the smart call router works. And we continue to, analyze and make sure that we're, filtering out the calls and making sure that you're getting it perfectly. So the next thing that comes up in our QFL is we like to take a look at dispositioning. And David's going to tell us a little bit about that.
The call dispositioning is one of the most important parts of that process. And just like Jennifer said just a few minutes ago, we don't want to just post our offer up to a board and let anybody send calls. We really want to try to hand select those kind of publishers and have the right calls coming in. In order to understand what's going on in those calls, we have to listen to them. We employ a team of in-house human dispositioners as well as an AI system to help determine what happens on these calls. With the AI system and the humans together, we can listen to roughly about 80 to 85% of the total call volume. Our goal is to get even higher. That just takes some time. With the human dispositioners listening for the intent, for the reason of the call, the results of the call, we can determine how that call is performing from the traffic source, and then how the advertiser or you are controlling that call within the call center. The AI on part of the humans let us listen to more volume in the call, but it gives us more of a very standard result about what happens on those calls instead of having humans, because humans have emotions, so they may get stopped up on some of the calls, but the AI just listens for a flat what's happening, here's the result, and here's the information that we can send you. Another part of the QFL is what we call the call center process. After the humans have listened to those calls, the AI has gone through those calls as well. We gather all that data and we prepare to meet with the advertiser. We try to meet with advertisers. It just depends on your campaign or your account, but it may be every 1 week, 2 weeks, every other day. It just kind of varies. But what we do with all of the data that we gather from the call dispositioning is we will pivot that data out to show you at a very fine detail about how your reps are performing on those calls. So we'll meet with you, we'll review what happens on the campaigns, what we've been listening to, what we've been hearing. And because we pivot all the way down to the rep level, we're really able to give you a lot of good detail about how the campaign is working for you. So part of that is we can tell if the reps are busy, if they're having difficulty answering some of the questions, maybe they're getting stuck on certain parts of the calls and they may not even be noticing it themselves, but we listen to it and we can give you that feedback. Every call center manager is busy. They're running from this rep to this rep, they're meeting with this person and the directors or whoever it may be, and they don't have a lot of time to listen to every single 100% of the calls. So we try to really get down to that level to where we can give them the detail they need to help make the improvements in their own call center. And that's really a big part of that call center process because they don't have a lot of time. And we partner with you to give you an unbiased view of how your call center is performing. Okay, Jennifer, so what's next?
So the QFL, as you can see in the graphic, it's circular, and we've identified those components, and we know that at any time a campaign can derail. So it's something that we have to continually look at. And as David mentioned, we do like to meet with the advertisers regularly. And again, depending on the volume and the state of the campaign, it may be more frequent than other times, but we do like to do it regularly. The other thing that comes out of the QFL is we use all that data for the publishers as well. A lot of times we get feedback from the advertisers, so we know which calls are converting and which ones eventually become acquisitions. And we're able to take that based on a caller ID and track it back in AdWords to see what keywords are working, what ad copy was used. And so there's a real benefit for the publishers that come out of that disposition data. So the other thing that we can do is I do pivot everything out. So we look at like state trends and time of day, day of week. And we really try to make sure that we're looking for those trends that we can optimize to get the best performance that we can. And basically what that means for you is we stop murdering that CPA and we stop murdering those EPCs.
Now we're going to go back to Justin to complete the investigation.
Thank you for joining us. If you're ready to solve your murder that's in your call center, click below, fill out the lead form, and we'll contact you and get you started on the QFL process.